Welcome to our channel. I'm living in Washington State in the Pacific Northwest, a place where the rain hangs thick like a curtain, muffling sounds and casting shadows that dance with every flicker of light. A while back, I worked the late shift at a diner off the highway, often closing up at 2 a.m. It felt late, especially in such a desolate area, but thanks to the highway, a few souls always trickled in. Having moved from the South, I quickly realized people here were different. In the South, warmth and small talk are expected. Here, the atmosphere is more reserved, almost eerie. I had been a waitress back home, where conversations flowed like sweet tea. But up here, customers tended to keep to themselves, their faces shrouded in shadows. One night, just before closing, a heavy-set man named Nolan entered as the clock edged toward 1:50 a.m. He wore awkwardly high jeans and a gray shirt tucked into a brown jacket, his brown mustache and glasses giving him a peculiar look. I smiled back at him, trying to ease the tension in the air, but a shiver ran down my spine. As I handed him a menu, I could feel the weight of his gaze lingering too long. He ordered black coffee and French toast, and despite his friendly demeanor, something felt off. He chatted with me, his questions probing deeper than mere small talk. When he asked if I lived alone, I brushed it off, but unease settled in my stomach like a stone. After he finished eating, I brought him the check, my heart racing as I sensed his gaze following me. The diner was closing down and I felt the isolation press in around me. I tidied up, but as I walked to my car, I noticed a silver vehicle parked nearby, its windows dark. Was it Nolan's? I shuddered at the thought. As I drove home, dread settled over me like a fog. My dashboard flashed a tire pressure warning, and panic gripped me. I didn't know how to change a tire, and as I pulled off the highway, my rear passenger tire went flat. The world outside dark and silent. Suddenly, headlights pierced the gloom, illuminating the roadside. It was Nolan emerging from his car with that unsettling smile, his gloved hands now at his sides. I felt a jolt of fear as he approached my window, asking if I needed help. Instinctively, I locked the doors, my heart racing as he played the role of the concerned stranger. When he moved to the back of my car, I dialed 911, whispering to the operator as Nolan returned to my window with that creepy grin still plastered on his face. I feigned calm, insisting I was waiting for my boyfriend. But with every passing moment, the air thickened with tension. Then, without warning, he smashed the glass beside me. I screamed, panic erupting as I shouted that I was on the phone with the police. In a swift motion, he grabbed my phone and hurled it into the darkness before speeding off, his tires screeching into the night. Shaking, I waited in my car, terrified and alone until the police arrived, their sirens cutting through the stillness. They changed my tire and promised to check the diner's surveillance footage, but as I drove home, the feeling of being watched clung to me like a bad dream. A year later, working at an amusement park in upstate New York, I encountered another unsettling figure. On a crisp October day, just before closing, a scraggly man approached me, looking over his shoulder as if expecting something dark to emerge from the shadows. He asked for the bathrooms, his voice barely above a whisper. Later that night, at a diner with my coworker Jordan, I froze. The same man was staring at me from a few tables away. My heart raced as we left, but when we stopped at a red light, there he was again, parked right beside us. His eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that felt predatory. When I got home, alone in the dim light, I caught sight of him standing on my front lawn. A twisted smile stretched across his face. Gripped by terror, I called 911, but when the police arrived, he had vanished into the night. I couldn't shake the feeling of his presence lingering like a nightmare. Another rainy night at the diner, I served a man and a younger woman. Their conversation was hushed, secretive. When they left, I hurried home, but as I opened the door, a frantic girl appeared, drenched and begging for help. She claimed a creepy man was following her. It hit me then. She looked just like the girl from the diner. Before I could process, the man from earlier emerged from the darkness, eyes glinting with menace. As he approached, the girl screamed, "There he is!" Panic surged as I slammed the door shut, locking it just as he reached for the handle. I stood frozen, heart pounding, listening to the rain battering the windows, when I heard a knock, soft, insistent, from the stairway door. "Your blood on me," a voice croaked from the other side, sending chills down my spine. I ran to my room, locking myself inside, dialing the police once more. The wait felt eternal, every creak in the house amplifying my fear. Finally, the police arrived, assuring me it was safe to let them in. But as I opened the stairway door, I was horrified to find a message scrawled in marker. "Thanks for the service, Beth." I fled to my parents' house, leaving behind the nightmare that seemed to haunt those walls. I found a new apartment nearby, but the echoes of those chilling encounters still lingered, a reminder that sometimes the darkest shadows can take form in the most unsuspecting places. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Your support means the world to me. Thanks for being here, and we'll catch you in the next video.